Here we are. Here we go. Okay, we're here. We're here. Hi, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the show this morning. Would you do me a favor? Can anyone just say, yes, I can hear you? Make sure my audio is working. Do you hear my voice coming through this morning? Because if you don't hear me, let me know right now with a little comment. I can't hear you. But yes, I can hear you. That would be great. Morning, folks. I'm waiting for an answer. Jeff Glass says, poll answer. I love Rocket Lab. Can you hear me okay? How are you? Welcome to the program. I can hear you. Okay, that's all I wanted. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to the program here, Stock Markets with Bruce. It's Uncle Bruce. To try to tell you in plain English what's going on out there with regards to the market, and also on this channel, what I have been really working on since 2021, since about March, April 2021, is to help you become option writers, to learn how to write stock options, conservative stock option writing programs, so that you can take money out of the market from the desperados, the gamblers out there who are trying desperately to make a buck in the market, but they don't know what they're doing. I'm trying to help as many of you as possible to legally take money out of the stock market from people who are hoping that they have a hunch that they're on the right track to make money, and they're wrong. Viewers of this channel have become, in some cases, absolutely deadly at writing options, creating stock options out of thin air to sell them at prices way up here that have no business being here, and then they buy these contracts back for pennies on the dollar, and they keep the differential. And there are people here who are now making, well, the numbers are staggering. There are people here who are making as little as $1,000 a month every month in income from options, maybe less, but many in this $2,000 a month range, and then all the way up to over $250,000 a month in option premiums. And you're sitting there going, oh, he's full of crap. $250,000 a month. I mean, stop it, Bruce. Stop with this sensational headline crap, because you sound like Donald Trump. Stop talking like that. What can I say? Kids, if you want to make money in the market, you have to be smarter than the market. You have to be on the right side of the stock market versus the wrong side of the stock market. And I have good and bad news for you. The good news is you don't have to compete with the companies that are listed on the stock market to make money in the stock market. Tesla and Microsoft and Apple and any company you can think of, all the S&P 500s, the Russell 2000s, all public companies, they do not compete against you to make money from the stock market. They're not against you on any trade you do, basically. Public companies have shares of theirs that they've issued to investors over many, many decades that are now just trading hands all the time. Shares just trade back and forth between investors. And there are some investors for SoFi or Apple or Tesla or NVIDIA or any other stock you want to think about. There's some investors today that feel 6 months from now to a year from now to 2 years from now, this company's prospects will be much better than they are now. And then there are other people out there who hold shares of these companies who have changed their mind and have said, one, I don't think the company's shares that I have, that company is going to do better in 6 months, a year, or 2 years from now. They've run their course. I found a stock that I think is better than the one I've got, so I'm going to get out of this one, and I'm going to get into that one. And then there are the gamblers who are saying, I don't give a crap how company A, B, and C is going to do 6 months from now. I'm day trading. I want to buy 1,000 shares of Apple right now, and can I sell it in an hour later today for 50 cents more than I paid for it, or $1? If I can buy 1,000 shares of NVIDIA at whatever it's trading at, and it goes up $1 a share, then I'm a happy camper, because I've made myself $1,000 on this investment. NVIDIA is $116 last night. If I can buy 5,000 shares of NVIDIA on credit, because people can do that, they can use margin to buy this kind of stuff. They only have to come up with a fraction of the money. The stock was up $5, and I've flipped 5,000 shares in an hour and a half for $5. I made 25 G's. That's what day traders think about, though. That's the upside. Now, the real scary day traders are the ones who flip options every day, every second day, several times a week, many times a month. They buy options to try to sell options for a quick turnaround. Unfortunately for options buyers, they have all kinds of restrictions against them and all kinds of odds against them to make money, as opposed to people who just buy shares. If you buy shares of NVIDIA or Tesla and it goes up, you can flip the shares out right away and say, yes. If it doesn't move up today and you can afford to hold the position, you wait a day or two or a week and then sell them. You've got a little more economic power, or you've got the cash to just buy the stock, hold the stock. It goes up $3, $4, $5 a share, $10 a share, whatever the target is in your mind, and you blow them away and you buy something else. That's great for cash buyers with stock. The problem with buyers of options is that you buy a call option on Tesla or on NVIDIA and you say to yourself, surely these stocks have dropped enough by now that there's going to be a bounce back. I mean, surely they're going to come back half of what they lost in the next couple of weeks. Surely that's going to happen. We got a god in the White House who's just making everything great again. I'm sure that the shares that have collapsed in the last 3-4 weeks are going to make a bounce back. I'm going to buy call options on these stocks. And I only got like 10 grand because I lost like 80 grand already last year. But I got 10 grand left. And I'm going to buy 10 grand worth of NVIDIA call options that have a month to live, because I only need a week or so for this stock to make its move for me. And I'm going to put my 10 grand into this thing. And if the stock goes up $10, $15 a share, my 10 grand will be worth 30 grand. And I'm on the way back to 100,000. I'm a winner. The problem, of course, is that in the week coming up, it doesn't happen, because 3 weeks ago they were thinking this, 2 weeks ago they were thinking this, last week they were thinking this, and so there are option gamblers right now holding options that they've bought for the last 2 weeks, saying surely these shares will bounce back up, and I will make the score that I know I'm going to make. The problem is that the shares have kind of got to go up $10, and then I'm even on my investment. And then if they go up another $10, that's where I make my money. And so, that's what gamblers do. Gamblers are always going, I just want to, can I do a trade to get my money back? So that then I can make that bet that I knew I was right on. Fun, isn't it? My viewers are the opposite. My viewers are the George Costanza. And I got something in here, can't help it. My viewers are the George Costanza of the options my viewers are the George Costanza of the stock market. They do the opposite of what everybody else does. And my viewers get mocked by friends and relatives and coworkers and by any financial person that they ever run into. Those people look at my viewers and say to them, either to their face or to a friend of theirs, so that they hear about it later, they're idiots. Anyone watching Uncle Bruce writing options is a moron, as what the outside world is thinking about when they think about the overall game plan of what my viewers do to make money. Because they go, that's impossible. How do you're in the options market, that's all they want to hear. As soon as they find out that you are an option writer in the options market, they stop listening. They right there go, oh, you're a moron. You get your ass handed to you. You're going to lose money like all the other option gamblers, because 99% of option gamblers are gamblers who generally they lose more than they make. Someone makes money writing in the options business, okay? I know who those people are. The entities that make the most money from the options market are institutions. They're the ones who make the most money. Why? Because they write the most options. It's a direct correlation. How big you are and how many contracts you create means you have a whole bunch of options out there that can make you a whole bunch of money as they depreciate in value. And if you're an insurance company with $25 billion in cash in your accounts that is there to take care of policies, payouts, and you're bringing in $1 billion a month in cash for premium income. This is insurance income for life insurance, car insurance, home insurance. You're adding to this cash pile. And maybe every dollar you bring in, you pay out 60 cents in claims. And you pay out 20% in salaries and expenses. And you pay out 5 cents in premiums and in dividends. But there's still money left over in the business that grows the business. And they're sitting on 25 billion now. They're going to be sitting on 30 billion a year or two from now. They have to make that money work, because whatever that money makes is additional money into the pot of the corporation to allow the corporation to pay larger dividends down the road, higher salaries down the road, higher business taxes, higher claims, because inflation has a way of making claims more expensive. Insurance companies and banks and hedge funds and mutual funds and pension funds and you name it, with all the trillions of dollars in the monetary system, are the biggest writers of stock options and hedge funds and currency options and bond options and futures like corn futures, orange juice. You remember trading places? Pork bellies. Who do you think writes all this stuff? Where does the volume of options come from that handles $5 trillion a week of turnover? Institutional traders. And then there are the retail players. And that's what you are. You're here with me. You're a retail writer of options. And the good news is you've been let into the game. This has been the single greatest event to happen to average investors in my lifetime, where average investors are allowed to write stock options, and it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg to do it. This is the shocker of shockers. You're allowed into the club, the writing club, to write calls and puts and spreads and take your premiums and fold your arms and watch these contracts depreciate and deteriorate in value, and pick your timing to buy them back and keep the change and write some more. You've been let into this club because of Mr. Steve Jobs, because he and his team, Steve and his pals, created a device that was unleashed onto the public in the early 2000s. Was it 2003? Can't remember the year. Prior to this, there was virtually no way you could have been in the option writing business. Yeah, I know E-Trade and I know Ameritrade and I know these other brand names that we remember from 1990s. We're talking about $9.95 a trade, using your desktop computer to enter orders online. It started in the 90s, but you guys, almost every one of you that are here right now, you found me because of COVID. Let's get back to the reality of the world here. COVID is what brought you here. You were stuck at home. You had nothing to do. You couldn't go anywhere. You were told you can't travel. You were told there will be no hockey games. All the hockey games are on in closed arenas. There's no baseball, no fans at the ball game. You're stuck at home. You're sports betting, and then you began to look for something else to do, and you were playing video games until you're sick and tired of that after a few days. And then some of you, again, those of you who are here are some of you. You're here because you were, well, I have investments. And then you realized I could use this to trade my investments. Well, I'll find a stock that's going to the moon. After all, isn't that how you do that? To make money in the market, you find something that's really cheap and that's going to go to the moon. Warren Buffett does it over 30 years. I'm going to do it over 30 minutes, over a week. And then I show up and start talking to you about GameStop and the craziness of dumb money, what was going on there. And through all of your comments and me answering these questions about what was going on with the market, we all figure out maybe you should become an option writer. And that is where you're still here. You're still here watching me talking about writing options. And now you are doing what the absolute 1% of the market does in a big way. And you're entering their fancy little clubhouse. And you're allowed in because you've got the ticket. You understand how options work. You understand how they depreciate. And that's what you're doing here. And the market right now is wide open for dollars coming into your hands. And in the last, for 3 years, many of you have done really, really well. And in the last 6 months, a high number of you have had your accounts explode in value because what you did for the first time in your life, ever in your investing life and in your life as a whole, you have completely done the opposite of what the market has been doing and will continue to do. You sold everything. You sold your shares of SoFi. You sold your shares of GameStop. You sold your shares of Rocket Lab. You sold your shares of Tesla. You sold your shares of NVIDIA. You sold your Apple. You sold your IBM. You sold AI. Rattle them all off. There's a zillion stocks that you're all into. And you sold them all. The markets are hitting new all-time record highs. All-time record highs last fall. Every day, and the election happened and the markets kept going, and you started to sell because I told you to. And you turned around and immediately started writing cash secured puts to buy back what you sold, in most cases, at a much lower price than what you got for it. And you sat there going, I can't believe how easy this is. This is working for me. Because as the markets kept going higher and higher and higher and higher, you started rolling your put contracts. You started going, I cannot believe that I took my account with 80 grand worth of stock. I sold it all. I wrote cash secured puts on almost all of this stuff. And my account balance is now $110,000. And the market kept going up, and I bought back the puts that I wrote for way less than I sold them for, and I wrote another batch of puts for another bunch of money, and now I'm sitting on $140,000. And in 3 months, I went from 80 grand worth of stock to 140,000 in cash, and I'm hauling in interest on this money from the American government, which is great because of these T-bills, and I don't have to do anything. Like, what is this? I am not used to this. Many of you are saying, I've never done this before. I can't believe that this was always a possibility. And now what do I do? What do I do? And I'm calming you down to say, you don't do anything. You continue to write contracts. And you continue to roll your put contracts. As time goes by, all the puts you've written that expire in April, May, June, July, August, September, every day, every one of those contracts is a day closer to expiring, which means every day these contracts are either losing value because the stocks are going up or down, and or they're losing value because the time is running out, and you're all figuring out, gosh, even with the stock not helping me here, they haven't got higher. These contracts are not performing anymore like they were before. They're not surging in value against me. They're barely hanging on to the values they've got, and it's making me look like $1 million dang dollars. I'm looking smarter all the time. Well, welcome to what institutions do. Banks and insurance companies and pension funds and hedge funds, they count on the deterioration of the options market. Because time brings a contract down in value to what it's actually worth, because there's no time value left on it, or it's worthless because it's not even in the money. Stocks have gone up on puts beyond what you wrote them for, Anyone out there who's been writing put contracts on GameStop at $22, $24, $25, anyone writing AI contracts, anyone writing SMCIs, NVIDIA, whatever contract you've written. Yesterday, people were writing $100 put contracts on NVIDIA. The stock's $115 or whatever it was. Those are worthless contracts. They have no value. And at the end of their life, they will be worth absolutely nothing. And there are people here who know. I've hauled in 25% return on the money I put up to write a put contract. And I know that that put contract is worth nothing on the day of expiry if the shares are around these prices. Where they are now, there's no way the shares have, those puts have any value whatsoever. And you're sitting there going, I'm up 25% a year from now, 6 months from now, 8 months from now, I'm up 25%. That's equal to the entire last year's S&P performance. A whole year. You're getting that in 6 to 8 months from now. And this is really conservative option writing. I come back to that. This is not gambling. You're not gambling your life on a stock that must move by Friday or you're a dead duck. If you're doing those kinds of trades, you're not an option writer. You're a gambler in disguise. If you're a real option writer, you're writing options on stock and you're writing options that have no business trading at the values they're at, because you know, and the person buying them from you also deep down inside knows this thing is worth nothing. The stock has got to do something dramatic for this contract to become valuable. Both of you know it. You are selling it and the guy buying it, you need a payoff. And in Las Vegas, people sit down at a nickel machine. They put $100 bill into a nickel machine, and deep down inside, they know they're never going to see that $100 bill ever again. What they're going to end up with down a few minutes from now, or an hour or two from now, after shoving in some more $100 bills, they're going to end up with a piece of paper that they can take to a machine over here at the other end of the casino, and they can put that thing in the machine, and it'll give them back a $20 bill, a couple of tens, a couple of fives, some nickels, dimes, and quarters. They'll have lost it all, virtually all, or they won't have anything left whatsoever. They've played for an hour. They've dropped 100, 200, 300, 500 into a machine in an hour or two. And at one time, they were up $20. And for the rest of the time, they were trying to break even again. They were trying to get their $200 or $300 back. And they never made it. But they justify doing it because it was fun. I'm on a holiday in Vegas and I'm gambling and I had a shot at making a lot of money because this machine can pay off $100,000 if you get the right roll on the wheels, on the reels. In the options market, there are gamblers out there who know I'm going to bet $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 on every wager I make as an option gambler. Every time I buy 5, 10 grand every time of options. And they deep down know that most of the time they're going to get less than what they put in. And every once in a while, they believe that they will hit a winner and they will take a $5,000 wager and turn it into $14,000 and cash in. They'll put in 10 grand and turn it into 30 grand and cash in. They believe it, they know it, they've done it, and they know others who do it. Again, anywhere from $1,000 a wager up to $1 million a wager. They're all out there. 5 trillion a week. And very few of them actually cash in any meaningful way. They generally give it all back and give it all back and roll into nothingness. You guys are the ones, along with the institutional investors, taking the money. And last night, Donald J. Trump was standing at the podium at the joint House of Congress, the Senate, whole bunch of the justices were there from the Supreme Court, generals were probably there, and spoke to the nation, spoke to the world, and went on and on and on and on how great America is going to be. I listened to 10 minutes of it. I had it on my computer for a while, and I was, the sound was over here, and I was looking at something else. I lasted about 10 minutes, and I quietly just, turned it off and went looking at some YouTube videos and some other stuff. And I'm looking at the fallout. I'm looking at the reaction to the speech. I'm looking to what the market thinks. What's the attitude of the stock market? What's the attitude of the currency market? What's the attitude of the bond market? What's the attitude of the oil market? What is the world? What's the world's reaction with their money to this speech? You can talk about all you want about, well, this political person on this network said this, and this political commentator said that, and I heard a quote from the prime minister of blah, 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 or the president of so-and-so. That doesn't mean as much as, what's the stock market saying today? What is the stock market telling us? What is the bond market telling us? What is the U.S. currency values telling us? What's the oil market telling us? That's the reaction that counts, because what a president of a country thinks doesn't pay your bills. What a stock does, up or down, or a market does, generally, so that affects your ability to pay your bills, because you're option writers. That's why you're here. You're the 1%ers. For every one of you that's here, there are 99 people who should be here, but aren't, because they are the gamblers. And then there are another probably, 1,000 more that don't know anything about options anyway. And they're just going to work every day just trying to get by, because they didn't watch either. Well, I'm watching the market right now. And as of now, with 32 minutes to go before we open the day, I see the Dow off 11 points. I saw it up 100-something points like an hour and a half ago, and I got up at 3:30 my time, which is a long time ago. The market was up quite nicely. It was up like 1%, 0.75% for all three indexes. I see the S&P only up 2 points. I see NASDAQ up 33 points. That's 0.17%. Looking at this, if I were to measure the effectiveness of the speech last night, looking at this, not good, because I'm looking at U.S. markets. I'm not looking at Tokyo. I'm not looking at Frankfurt. I'm not looking at London. I'm looking at the Dow Jones, the S&P, and the NASDAQ 100. This is USA, baby. This is drill, baby, drill country. This is America, the greatest country in the world. And now I see the Dow off 24 and the S&P down 0.75%, or of a point, excuse me, and NASDAQ only up 20, trying to go higher. That's what I see. That's what I'm noticing. Now it's still 31 minutes until the opening. All this could change and swing one way or the other, but at the moment, the last hour or two, it hasn't been great. What about oil? What about oil? Drill, baby, drill. Well, we're down $1.50 a barrel right now in West Texas. We're at $66.73. If I recall, when the election happened in November and through December, we were up over 70, and I think we pushed 80 at one point. We're now at $66 a barrel. This is bad news for anyone producing oil. It's bad news for OPEC, which, okay, great. That might be great for us in a way. It's good news for consumers. You drive a car, you drive a truck, you own an airline, you run a cruise line. Hey, this is good news. You're in the oil and gas business, not so good. If you're Alberta in Canada, where I come from, you're in Alberta, this is not a good morning. If you're in Norway, this is not a good morning. If you're in the northern UK and Scotland, this is not a good morning. Oil is down, and you guys produce this stuff out of the North Sea. Canada produces it all over Western Canada. The Middle East produces oil. Venezuela, Mexico, many countries produce oil. They're not happy today. This is not good news for them. But for the rest of the world who use this stuff in everything we use, everything we are about, this is better news. But oil is reacting negatively to whatever it has to react negatively to. And I'm sure some of it is the speech last night, some of it. And why would oil back off? And why would the markets back off? Because the news you heard, the speech you were presented with, and the speech that's being dissected right now by analysts everywhere, political, business analysts are all coming out saying, well, actually, if that is the way he thinks things should be because of his announcements and executive orders and his intention to keep right on going with what he's been doing, all of what he's talking about is actually negative for the economy. Now, what would be positive for the economy is a lot of money would come into the United States and create millions of jobs for Americans that pay 80 to 150,000 a year or more, allowing a lot of Americans to become millionaires and billionaires to become multi-billionaires. That would be an uplifting thing, but that's not the way the market is reading it this morning, because the markets are not going anywhere. The markets are going, these tariffs are not good. Tariffs aren't good because as much as he talks about implementing tariffs on countries, countries are implementing tariffs against the United States. And so you kind of win here maybe, but you're losing there probably. And the losers, who are the losers? Average Americans, farmers, business owners, importers, exporters, bankers, stock people, corporations. The losers are entities that are going to find that more of their cash flow is going to the U.S. Treasury in the form of taxes. Tariffs are taxes. And last night, a certain president of the United States proudly proclaimed that if he has his way, trillions and trillions of dollars will come to the United States from tariffs. What does that mean? That means trillions of dollars into the tax pot of the United States government will come in, allowing the United States government to offer trillions of dollars of tax discounts, tax deductions to taxpayers. And anyone making 2 million, 5 million, $1 billion a year, your tax bill will stay low and will not be increased. And there's your winners. The winners are the ones at the top. They win because they're the ones who pay taxes, after all. Someone making 20 grand a year doesn't pay 30 grand a year in taxes, okay? Someone making 50 grand a year, it doesn't pay 20 grand in taxes either. They might think they do, but they don't. Because if you take all the deductions off the top and find out what you really pay tax on, and when you find out what you're taxable at, depending on where in the United States you live, then you know what your tax rate really is. And there are a lot of American families that generate less than $100,000 a year in revenues with children and with deductibilities here and there. The net tax money coming out is pennies on the dollar, and tax cuts mean nothing to most Americans. It's shocking. A lot of Americans will say, oh, I got a tax cut. Apparently the budget went through, blah, 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 blah. And their paycheck comes out a month or two later and they go, I got $14 more money on my 2-week paycheck. I got $14. That's all it means to you. But of course, the selling job is, well, there are hundreds of millions of you getting this. This is great for the economy, but for your economy, 3 cups of coffee at Starbucks later, and you've spent the $14 that you got. And you use more than 3 cups of coffee every 2 weeks. There's the problem. Anyway, it is what it is. The markets this morning are giving a mixed reaction and mainly negative reaction to last night's speech. In the meantime, however, there's a new player in town. There's a new superpower in town that is asserting their, flexing their muscles. I'll say that. It's not Russia. It's not China. There's a new player coming onto the world scene that everyone in the bond market knows, everyone in the currency market knows who this is. Any economist worth their salt, they know who it is I'm talking about. It's a country known as Germany. The Germans are just like Americans, like Canadians, like Brits, like French, like anyone else. German people are very educated. They're very smart. They're very hardworking. They're very ethical. They're very trustworthy. They're very crafty, entrepreneurial. They've been through a lot. Germany, in its recent couple of 100 years, has been through a lot. Good times, bad times. Germany, in the last 6 months, has completely turned their game around. And the attitude of German people, the voters of the country, has shifted, has started to really shift. And a lot of Germans are saying enough is enough. They're just pissed off at Russia. They're pissed off at the United States. They're upset with the EU. They're upset with all kinds of issues. COVID was one thing. High interest rates, inflation, unemployment. They're not happy. They're upset with immigration. Does that sound familiar to any of you Americans out there? Upset about immigration. They're upset about being the country that has allowed a lot of people in from Ukraine and from other countries, and from Syria, wherever. They're upset because they're drowning in a whole bunch of world problems that have come into Germany from outside of Germany. And they're noticing that their car plants are being cut down and cut back, and that hundreds of thousands, millions of German workers are under threat of being laid off. This is unthinkable. This is a country for the last 20 years that has been running a surplus in its federal budget, under law, under an amendment to its own constitution. The German government has been hogtied. They have been tied up and not been allowed to invest into the growth of the country because of restrictions regarding deficit spending. America has been spending like a drunken sailor for 30, 40 years. Canada too, England and France and Italy and Spain and Greece, and oh God, deficits everywhere. Turkey has 20% interest rates and worse. Germany has been restrained until now. Because there's a new player in town. There's a new chancellor taking over in Germany. There was an election in the last 2 weeks, and the shift is on. And Germany now has said enough is enough. We're not getting kicked around anymore being the nice guys. We're not going to be the nice guys anymore. We have already cut off natural gas imports from Russia. We have cut off oil purchases from Russia. We are not going back there, no matter what our friend in Washington wants to do, to cozy up to this dictator in Russia, the 22nd largest economy of the world, which is suspect even there, because we can't trust the numbers coming out of Russia. It might be the 40th largest economy in the world, because it's had the crap kicked out of it. The Germans are going, we're not going back to being pals with Russia. Those days are over. They had their chance. We gave Putin the chance to make a lot of money. We gave him contracts to buy his natural gas, his oil, do deals. We set up factories in China. In Russia, we set up all kinds of distribution centers in Russia. We employed a lot of Russian people. We told Russia, you can become part of the West economically by really scoring some serious dough and uplifting your standard of living in your country. We in Germany will help you get there, because we're not stupid. In Germany, we know, they say. In Germany, we say, we know we can build a factory in Russia to make office furniture, and we can then distribute that office furniture back to us, and we'll send it around the world. And it's made in, parts are made in Russia all over the place and assembled finally in Germany or whatever. And we'll partner with you guys, and you guys employ a lot of people, bring in income, and we're sending you hard currency. We're sending you euros. This is good stuff. But not anymore. You guys have decided to invade Ukraine, even though some people believe Ukraine started the war. You decided to invade Ukraine in 2014 when you took Crimea, first of all, and then you invaded them again, and now you're all over the damn place over there. And we don't like that game, because we see too many similarities between that and the Second World War. We know what you did to Poland. You wiped them off the earth for a while. You took over Eastern Europe and made a havoc and made a mess of that through the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and the 70s until finally the 90s came around and you collapsed under your own weight of complete nonsense. We're not going there anymore. We're not going to fund you guys so you can buy bunches of bullets and missiles to now take us over. We're just not going to do it because we in Germany, we don't have an army to stop you because we're investing in economics. We're investing in factories. We're investing in a higher standard of living for the Western world. And we wanted to bring you with us because it would be better for you, we thought, to make you richer so that your population would enjoy the much better lifestyle and be able to buy a car whenever you wanted to buy a car rather than be on a 20-year waiting list for one of these Russian-made cars that were running on plastic. We thought that's what you would like. And you wanted it all. You wanted the better lifestyle for your population, and you wanted to have one of the strongest militaries in the world so you can now fulfill your dream of taking over the world. Well, that dream has come to an end as far as we're concerned. Now, maybe somebody in Washington wants to go back to the old days. We're not going back to the old days. And so Germany now is going to spend $500 billion on its military. $500 billion on its military. Germany has the money in the bank. They don't have to borrow this money. They have the money. Germany can borrow $10 trillion anytime they want. They can bury Russia economically anytime they want. And this is the time to begin the process. And the Norwegians and the Finns and the Swedes and the Danes and the French and the Italians and the Spanish and the Portuguese and all these other pals in Europe are all going, we're with you on that. Because our friends from America have abandoned us. There's a guy in Washington, he's already sent his vice president over here, gave a speech that just fell on the floor. He sent over his defense guy, his Secretary of Defense. He's pissed everybody off, and he's just been an embarrassment to NATO. We can't count on America anymore. Screw those guys. We don't need America. Believe it or not, we don't need America in Europe. We don't need them because they're irrelevant here. They've already been irrelevant for years. And so we'll just do it ourselves. And now America won't tell us how to do what we do because they don't cut the checks. We cut our own checks. America is underestimating how rich Europe actually is and how powerful Europe economically really is. The Chinese love dealing with European countries through the EU. They respect the EU. They really need the EU to buy Chinese-made goods and vice versa. It's a trade thing. But even the European Union is saying to China, screw you guys. We're not interested in having you dump stuff on us. It's because you're underpaying your slave labor that you have to dump it on it. We're not going to play that game anymore. So you want to import electric cars to us in Europe? 100% duty, 50% duty, 30% duty. We're going to make it impossible for you to compete with Volkswagen, Audi, Mercedes, Peugeot, Fiat, name the brands. Europe is waking up. Europe is coming around, and Germany is the leader. Germany has decided, okay, we're going to do what we're supposed to do. We're leading this Western European area because we're the United States of Europe. We're the USA of Europe, and we're going to step up and be leaders. And that is what's beginning to happen now. And since the election from November and last summer, when the European markets were at lows, look at the German DAX index. It has soared phenomenally since last summer. And it's going to continue to soar because money is coming into Germany now. You buy in the low, you sell at the high. And money is coming into Germany now because Germany is opening up the checkbook to create jobs, to build weapons. And it'll create jobs in the car industry. It'll create jobs in other industries. Yes. But Germany has decided enough's enough. We can't count on the United States sending weapons to Ukraine. They're cutting them off. We'll send weapons to Ukraine. They need bullets. We'll make bullets. You need missiles. We'll make missiles. We're smart. We're very engineers smart here in Germany. We have the factories to make this. We'll make this stuff, and we'll just show Putin that you may have fooled you know who in the White House that you're going to be a good boy now. We know better than that, and we're going to make it very uncomfortable for you here And so you can cozy up to Washington all you want, but that's not going to make a difference in Europe anymore. That's the difference. That is what's going on. And the market today is not being led by a great American recovery. We're down 45 on the Dow. We're down 4.5 on S&P. We've got 14 minutes to go. We're only up 8 on NASDAQ. The markets are slipping because those in the know are aware of the shift of how America is retreating into itself to make it great again, and the rest of the world is moving on without the United States. In subtle little ways, it is happening. And the American dollar is dropping against the euro. It's dropping against the pound. It's dropping against other currencies. Because if you want to punish your trading partners with some sort of tariffs to make a point that you're great again, they're saying, well, screw you, we'll deal with ourselves. The euro is at 107. It was supposed to go to parity. It was supposed to go down to 100. It's 107. It's up a penny today. The yen is climbing again today. The pound is climbing again today. Even the Canadian dollar is climbing today. European markets are all green. London is up. Germany's up 3% today. The German market is up 700 points today, 3.2%. If that isn't a slap in the face to wake the hell up, that's a Will Smith dope slap to investors around the world that, hey, you want to invest where profits are going to be made, where we're open for business, come to Germany. We're in a recession. We're spending our way out of it. We have the money to do so. We have unleashed our treasury on our economy. And those in the know are smart enough to say the Germans can afford to spend their way out of a recession. This is going to happen very quickly. America is going into a recession because it is clueless with what the rest of the world is up to, because of the guy leading it. I'm not talking about Americans, okay? I'm not talking about you, not you people that are watching me. I'm talking about your leader, okay? Clueless. An old man in a world that doesn't exist anymore. Sorry. The rest of the world's going, make your speeches. Do your proclamations. Become king of America. Go ahead. Just do what you do. We all know out here, in the outside world, where we are, we know you're a lame duck president in less than 2 years. You're a lame duck in November, in 2 years. At January of whatever that year is, 27, 28, whatever, you'll be basically one arm of the U.S. government. The most likely thing that's going to happen is so many Americans will be so upset that they'll go, this is not what I voted for, this is not what I thought would happen, I didn't think an unelected guy would do this, and I didn't think this would happen, blah, 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 blah. And we'll have one of the three branches of government not be Republican. It's the House, Senate, I don't know. Maybe both, I don't know. And unthinkable, but America will have a divided government, and the last 2 years of his presidency will be useless. The rest of the world knows this. They're just sitting back going, okay, we'll talk to you in a couple of years, okay? If we talk to you at all. We might wait for 4 years. In the meantime, we out here in the rest of the world will take care of our business without your business, because you're not open for business. You're shutting off our imports. We're going to shut off your imports. We'll move on and we'll deal with each other, because the rest of the planet is 80% of the world's economy, 70% of the world's economy. America's got a big chunk of the economy, sure, but the rest of the world is bigger, and it will continue to do business. Canadians are saying to their leaders, make deals with the European Union, make deals with Asian countries. Why don't we deal directly with Mexico and avoid America altogether? Why don't we just do that? Can't we just work together and do our own free trade deal? Why doesn't Canada and South America have a free trade arrangement with Mexico and Central America? We've got billions of people out there. Africa, wide open. I mean, China's moving in. China's moved into South America. China's moved into Africa in a big way. Their checks don't bounce either. It's money. It's not personal. It's business. America is not open for business right now. America's shutting down. America wants to make itself great. The rest of the world is saying, you're a free country. You voted your guy in. Make yourself great. Go ahead. Make yourself great. But we're not going to pay for it. Okay. Hello. those of us here in Europe are just not going to buy American goods because you tell us that you don't want ours and we have to keep buying your stuff. What? When was that the new normal? We'll set up our own defense system with NATO. You guys want to leave NATO? Get out, and we'll make NATO quite functional. And we'll fund it, and we'll fund our own businesses, and we'll do our own deals. It's not personal. You say it's not personal. We're saying it's not personal, but I think you are saying it's personal. I think you Americans are saying it's very personal. Your leader is. Again, I'm trying to desperately not upset you. Those who are here, I'm hoping to God to not upset you. But I know some of you cannot listen to me without thinking, oh, this socialist guy, all he does is talk politics, and I'm unsubscribing from him, and yet they you go away, leave, and have fun somewhere else. We're just trying to make money in the market. Those of you who write stock options, I'm coming back to you. If you're a stock option writer, I got good news for you. There's money in them there hills. Call credit spreads are your friend when it comes to this stock market right now. Oh gosh, are they your friend? Put credit spreads, you can make money on those too. Cash secured puts, my goodness gracious, are there opportunities galore. Thank you all so very, very much for following this man, following this channel, becoming members of this channel, and taking the classes on how to become an option writer. Because I'll tell you, the last thing you want to be right now is loaded up with a bunch of stocks that you think are just going to have a great run because of the guy in Washington is just going to make a business great again for American companies. I have bad news for you. Many of the S&P 500 companies are global. They are based in America, yes. They're headquartered in America, yes. But they're not just American companies. They are American by name, and that's about it. A lot of the board of directors are international people, Americans and others. Their divisions, they have European divisions, they have Asia divisions, they have African divisions, they have South American divisions, they have offices in countries around the world. The S&P 500, if you were to take the time to find out how many of the S&P 500 companies have offices in Canada, have offices in Mexico, have staff in Europe, in the UK, in China, in Japan, in South Korea, all over the world, you would be shocked at how many of the employees of many of the S&P 500s are all over the place because they have international divisions. A ton of these guys, and they are wincing. They're going, God, I wish he wouldn't say that. Oh, geez, I wish he wouldn't threaten China like that. I wish he wouldn't threaten Japan like that. I wish he wouldn't threaten Vietnam like that. Oh God, I wish he would leave us out of Canada's discussions. Oh, because they're counting the losses. They're counting the losses because deep down inside, the auditors for the S&P 500 and the Dow 30 and the NASDAQ and the Russell 2000 and everybody else, the accountants of all of these companies are telling their CEOs, a third of our business is done outside of America. A third. Our very survival is because we're a global corporation. That's how we have benefited and grew this company. The reason we pay a dividend, the reason we can afford to do stock buybacks, the reason that we are as profitable as we are, more than a third of it is outside of the United States. And we're vulnerable to losing a big chunk of that business right now. And trust me, the competitors to all American companies, okay, and there are millions of competing companies out there who are competitors of America. They're headquartered in Canada, they're headquartered in England, they're headquartered in Europe, they're headquartered everywhere else. And they have offices in the United States because they too are global. They're not just, we only do business in Germany. No, we have an office in New York. We have lawyers in New York. We have auditors. We have factories. We have partnerships with American companies. We're global everywhere. Everyone's global. And there are European-based corporations and elsewhere who are having meetings the last 6 months going, what are we going to do with this America problem? We have an America problem coming up. And the rhetoric is getting worse and worse and worse. What are we going to do? And there have already been layoffs. There have already been restructurings. There have already been secondary deals made. And now there are German companies doing deals with French, British, Spanish companies rather than bothering to come to the United States. They're not coming to the US to do business because they can't bring their product in an economic way. Tariffs have shut that right down. And they're not interested in bribing anyone in the White House or in the Senate or in the Congress or anywhere else with the lobbyists. They're not interested in paying millions of dollars a month in fees to be exempt from these tariff rules. Some are, many are not. They can't afford it. And so they're just going to say, well, screw this. Why don't we use the millions of dollars it would cost us to try to avoid being tariffed? Why don't we just use those millions of euros to build our business within Europe and build our business between us and the Middle East and us and Africa, where we're wide open and we're more than welcome to come in? Makes more sense to us. This is the hidden danger that America faces when it shuts itself down. When you close your ports and make an entry fee into the country 25% more expensive, you get certain players who go, that's okay, no hard feelings, we'll repackage our goods and we'll redistribute our products to willing buyers elsewhere. And that is the silent job killer that America is facing now and will face for 4 years. Or longer. I don't know how much longer this is going on. Will there be a successor to the existing president that will continue this policy because it gets votes? Then this game will continue until we run out of bullets. In the meantime, the rest of the world moves on because it's not stupid. The rest of the world is not, they're not stupid. They're very sharp. They're very smart people out there. I can tell you, there are American business people who are actively right now shifting a lot of their activities outside of America too. Because American business people are survivors. And there are American business people out there going, I cannot survive under the existing rules and regulations that this country has imposed on the domestic scene here. I'm better off opening a new factory in Mexico and begin to market merchandise from Mexico to Latin America, to South America, to Africa, to Europe, to Asia from there. And I'll totally outsource everything. That's what we'll do. And there are many Americans who have already moved out of the country in the last several years who have now set up residency for themselves in countries where they're more than welcome to come on down. Come on down and do business here and deal with the world. And when America gets itself straightened out, you might go back. But it might be another generation. I don't know. Because people just aren't gullible anymore. They can get their news from many sources, and they can get their information wherever they need to get their information from. This world has changed dramatically, and Larry Titus has just told you and me that our world has just changed yet again because the bells have rung on Wall Street, and we're open for business now. And we're going to find out today what the world thinks about what America's doing. And the reaction to what happened last night, and the reaction to what's been happening the last couple of months, and what the world thinks about the next 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years. We're going to find out right here. And if you're an option writer, you don't own stock in any company. You don't have to worry about the market movement of stocks per se, because you don't own them. You only have to worry about the return on your option positions that you know are going to deteriorate because they're overpriced. Options expire. All options eventually expire. They either expire worthless because they're not in the money, or they're going to expire at a value equal to what they're actually worth. The key here is to take the money off the table from the gamblers that I've described earlier and say, thank you, sir. May I have another? I like this game. Uncle Bruce, thank you for teaching me how stock option writing works. I can't believe this is allowed. I can't believe that I can make as much money as I'm making. I cannot believe that as a $20,000 to $100,000 investor, I too can write options. Like, this is insane. And the money I can bring in is substantial to me. And then there are those of you who years ago have already doubled and tripled and quadrupled your money, and you're still hauling it in. And you're going, Uncle Bruce, I no longer don't believe it. I do believe how much money I can make from options. What I can't believe is that what I did 3 years ago to get my first $50,000, $100,000 in profits on option writing came through, that I'm now doing it into the tune of $200,000 to $500,000 a year. I can't believe I'm still able to do this. I can't believe how big this option market is, because I'm a much larger trader today than I've ever been in the past, and I can't believe I don't even affect the markets. It's wild. It's conservative, it is smart, it is tactical, and there are 256 people here doing it, watching me doing this, and there are 25 million who don't know we're even here, that you even do what you're doing. That's the incredible part to me, is how many in the market don't realize what they could be doing in the market to bring capital into their hot little hands, to take care of bills and retirement planning and quitting your day job a lot earlier and traveling the world and writing options from Singapore and from Bali and from Sydney, Australia, and from Berlin and from Paris and from Madrid and from Calgary and Vancouver, Toronto, New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? How long do you want to go away for a while? What is your goal in life? Are you medically in trouble? Are you physically ill? Are you got cancer? Have you got physical ailments? You can't work as a greeter in Walmart, okay? Even though they'll give you a chair to sit in, you can't even do that. But you can be at home and you are clicking on your computer, your laptop, or your phone, how to write options. You're clicking on option writing, and you're making more money per hour than you'll ever get paid doing anything else, even if you were healthy. And that's the shocker to many of my viewers who say to me, Bruce, I'm making more money per hour on a regular 37.5-hour work week. The kind of money I am making writing options is nowhere near. My job never paid me this much. And even if I were able to work at the top of my game, I would never make the kind of money I'm making now writing options. Thank you, Uncle Bruce, and thank you, Gold Bagel members, for sharing information between each other. Thank you for those of you who are on the Discord group. Congratulations to those of you on the Discord group. You've become a Gold Bagel member. You've asked me how to join the Discord group. I've sent you the links. You're talking to each other 24/7 to become better and smarter option writers. You've taken classes from me. You're doing the rest of the classes. You're now looking me up for one-on-ones, for one-on-one consultation. Congratulations to all of you who have taken control and ownership of your financial life. And you do not let a single politician, a single radio person, a podcaster, a TV host, a newspaper, a librarian, a sheriff, a mayor, a relative, a boss. You don't let any of these people dominate your life. You are in charge of your existence. You have taken control. You deserve to take control. You should take control, and you can. Welcome to the party, pal. I'm glad you're with me today. Thank you for joining me. A few of my viewers have understood that once you see the bells be rung, you now must honor and acknowledge the actual power behind this market. Because on this channel, unlike any other channel, this channel, everyone here knows that the absolute dominant force behind the world at large are the Knights of Me. And if you watch the Search for the Holy Grail, that movie will tell you everything you need to know. The power of the Knights of Me are all encompassing on this channel. And there are people here making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year writing options because they have honored and they every day salute the Knights of Me. And you can see that right here with all of the Knights of Ni emojis coming out, left, right, and center from everyone, because they don't fool with the Knights of Ni. And there you go. If you're not a member of this channel, you have no idea what I'm talking about, and you think we're being silly. It's at your peril. If you actually don't want to be a member of this channel and don't want to honor the Knights of Ni, you deserve everything bad that happens to you, because I'm sorry, the Knights of Ni are the all-powerful on this channel. And these are all Gold Bagel members. These are all Chillin' with Uncle Bruce members. They're all doing it. There's a reason you put out the Knights of Ni emojis. You don't fool and mess with the Knights of Ni. There it is. And another red day begins, says Bobby. Here we go. Zaltias. Nee. That's right, Jeff Glass. I didn't know being dominated by a librarian was an option. There are librarians who now will not allow books into libraries that used to be able to be read by anybody. Did you know that? There's censorship going on in your communities. Some of your communities have had massive censorship. Some of you, none at all. But you'll never know if you're oblivious to what's been happening in your community with school boards and with planning commissions and city councilors, and there's all kinds of crap going on out there that is anti-democratic, one-sided only. But hey, if you don't know, then you don't know. So, okay, it's all right. You don't have to know everything, I guess. It's all right. I'm just trying to talk to you about business, but it's not easy, because sometimes business gets interfered with people with other agendas, and that is the problem. Anyway, what can I say? Everything is red, says Charlie. Everything's red. Oh my God. Well, we're up 85 on the Dow. Whoop-de-freaking-do. Let's see what happens in the next 15, 20 minutes. We'll see how long this lasts and how far it goes and where we end up going with it. We're up 40.41 of a point. We're up not even a half a point on the S&P. And it looks like we're down 37 on NASDAQ right now. Giddy up, everybody. Here's a headline I like to see. Moderna stock is surging because the CEO bought $5 million of the stock. That's kind of nice to see that. It kind of tells me that maybe, just maybe, the shares are so cheap that it's time to buy in rather than to get out. Because if I recall, a lot of insiders of public companies were offloading stock in September, October, November of last year when markets were hitting all-time highs. We were reading a lot of stories about insiders getting out of their own stock. Well, we've had a bit of a pullback in some cases. In the case of Moderna, the 52-week high is $170, and I have a suspicion that the all-time high in the last 5 years, here we are, it was way over 400, around 450 a share. And Moderna right now is $33 a share. I would say this might be the low. This might be kind of in the neighborhood of the, plus or minus 5% of the low. And there's a $5 million purchase being made. How about that? Just cute, interesting. Okay. Anyway, there you go. What can I say? Welcome all to the program. Thank you for joining me. Have you responded to my question of the day today? Have any of you been able to hit the thumbs up button for me today? Let's take a look at this situation. Thank you again for the Knights of Ni emoji attack. We needed that. Kind of flesh out the talk a little bit here. 135 thumbs ups have come in so far. Thank you, and keep them coming. We always strive to hit 200. We did hit 200 yesterday. The rerunners blew past 200 yesterday. We've had 253 people vote this morning on my question of the day. The question is simply this, and again, I can only give you 4 choices. I wish I could give you 10 choices, but it doesn't allow me to do that. So the question is this: my preferred stock to use to write stock options is the 4 questions. The 4 stocks were Tesla, GameStop, SoFi, NVIDIA. I could have put Rocket Lab, AI, Apple, SPX, the Qs, which are ETFs. I could have given you all I just don't have the room. So do me a favor, okay? If you've already answered the poll question, I love you. I would love you to do me another favor. Why don't you write down for me and submit this answer in the comments below. Of course, this would have to be for members now. Why don't you write down the top 3 stocks that you use the most to write options on that make you the most cash? Is it SoFi followed by GameStop followed by AI, or is it AI, Rocket Lab, SoFi? Is it GameStop, Nvidia, IBM? Like, what are the 3 that bring you the money? If there's only two. If there's only one. But write it down and let's just take a look at that together. Because right now, 255 results are in with SoFi at 56%, GameStop at 23%, Nvidia 12%, Tesla 9%, and those are the only 4. I had to pick 4, and so I did those 4. Tell me that. What is the number? Can you give me what are the top 3 stocks you're using to write options on to make you the money? J-Boy, GameStop, and Tesla. Tom, SoFi, GameStop, Microsoft. Some of these might surprise some of you. Lee Mortimer, SoFi, Rocket Lab, GameStop. Easy peasy, Uncle Bruce. I'm making money off these guys. Lisa, SPIR, Spire, Rocket Lab, and Tesla. There's an interesting threesome. Henry, Rocket Lab, SoFi for me. I'm working off those 2. Chad, I've been working off of the SoFi, GameStop, Rocket Lab options. Those are the ones making me the money. I want the world to know. Tell the world everyone that's here, what stocks are you using? If you're not a member of this channel, send me a super chat for $5 and put in your stocks. I need the money. So, what the hell? Zoltias, SoFi, GameStop, Nvidia. Send me $25 and tell me the thing. Send me $100 and tell me. I dare you. Send me $1,000 and tell me your 5 favorite stocks, your 3 favorite stocks. What stocks are you using to write options with? Splair, Tilray, Canopy, SoFi, the leader, GameStop, and Warner Brothers. Charlie, I'm using SoFi, Nvidia, Palantir. Sold all my TEM calls close to the high, but I traded that for a couple of months also. I've done rather well with it. DH Ruda, SoFi, Rocket Lab, and Meta. Tom, credit spreads on Microsoft. Boring. I love it. And let me know. Yeah, are you doing put credit spreads, call credit spreads? Are you doing cash secured put writing? What is it that makes you the money? What is it that works for you? Tell me. Here they come. They're coming in. Dennis McElroy, SoFi, GameStop, Enphase, and ASTS. Easy peasy. Give me the money. Hostergaard, SoFi, Rocket Lab, GameStop. Well, no options on GameStop yet, but it'll do it. Rassman, Rocket Lab, GameStop, and lately RDDT or Palantir. That's lately where I've got my money from. Hostergaard, options, stupid, autocorrect, he says. Corinne, GameStop, Rocket Lab, SoFi for me. Juan, I'm making my money on GameStop, Rocket Lab, SoFi, Cake, and ASTS. He's having his cake and eating it too. Jay Gill, Meta, Microsoft, and GameStop. 2 of the Magnificent Sevens, and GameStop is where Jay Gill is making his money from this options business, writing options off of these stocks. This is good stuff. Jeff Glass, Rocket Lab, SoFi, GameStop, Nvidia, and Lunar. That's where I'm getting my dough from. Harry, I'm making my money off of SoFi contracts, Rocket Lab, and Palantir. And I say, give it to me, you saps, you gamblers. I like it. Ed, flipping to green, baby. Here we go. Samuel, Rocket Lab, SoFi, GameStop, and SPYs. I am taking money from those entities to get rich. The Dow's up 183 points. There's a turnaround. The SoFi's up 3 cents. ASTS is up 289 to 3150 now. It's had a good day yesterday. Another one going now. Rocket Lab up 33 to 1920. GameStop down only 3 cents. AI up 21. Supermicro up 11. We're going green here. Nvidia up 34 cents. Tesla's up 255. Spiders are up 127. Qs are up 83. Palantir down 15. MST are up 580. Costco down 220. Coinbase up 2. Giddy up. Google up 56. Apple down $2. Broadcom up 288. Microsoft up 266. Intel down 30. Netflix up 378. Meta up 567. EI Lilly up $7. Amazon up $1. Uber up 93. Adobe up 84. Cisco up a penny. There you go. We got some green showing here. It's not all red. We're 15 minutes into the market. Harry, I made a ton on GameStop, man. This thing just pays me and pays me and pays me. I have viewers writing put credit spreads on GameStop all day long. You can now write 16, 18, 17, 19s, 19s, 21s, 2022s. I mean, they're all over the place here. Put credit spreads. Thank you very much. One, SoFi, Rocket Lab, Oracle, IBM, ASTS. Thank you, Uncle Bruce. Thank you, gamblers. Everyone making money off of their favorite stocks, off their favorite contracts, with their favorite trading patterns. Give me the money. There you go. Since rescheduling is delayed, I gain always 30 to 60% on Canna calls. Z Estate, I use MSTY, GameStop, SMCI, and SoFi. Hand me the money. I've got me a Beamer with a lease payment, and I am taking the lease payment out of these. These babies are keeping me in my Beamer. Way to go, Zed. ASTS is up 10% right now. You're $2.99. Yeah, look at that. Harry, Rocket Lab paying great right now. Oh, I love the way Rocket Lab is paying me right now. I'm making a ton of money on this. B Tizzle, in addition to rolling my GameStop put spreads yesterday, I opened up another set of them, 20 March 14, 2022 spreads for an 11-cent credit. I have a stinker in to close them for 3 cents right now. So give me 8 cents times 20 contracts, $160. Thank you very much. Not a bad move. $400 to make 160. 22% return on your money. Is that all right? I'm not exactly sure I got that right, but it looks good. 5.5%. Thank you. Harry, this week is the bottom right, baby right. Ed, I make money on SoFi contracts. I write Rocket Lab contracts. I write ASTS contracts, and I write AMD contracts. Well, how about that? Joe Oliver, GameStop, SoFi, and BITX. I've been doing BITX on margin finally. Margin has been helping bring some much needed cash in here. Thanks for that advice, Uncle Bruce. There you go. Harry, you demand, Uncle Bruce. B Tizzle, cash secured puts on ASTS, SoFi, Rocket Lab. Put spreads on GameStop. Call spreads on Tesla, MSTR, and NVIDIA. Now, here's a classic example of the power of my classes. If you take my classes, the lessons, there's 18 of them, you'll end up doing this kind of stuff. You're going to become a very active, very profitable, active writer of options. And you're going to do all kinds of styles of writing on the stocks you love the most. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different stocks being utilized to bring in income. This gives B Tizzle a wide range. The eggs aren't in one basket. They're spread out, different spreads, different trades, different kinds of option trades. It keeps B Tizzle busy, entertained, engaged, and makes B Tizzle richer. And B Tizzle does not apologize for making the money. B Tizzle says, thank you, gamblers, for being so stupid to be on the other side of my trades, because you think these stocks are just going to go to the moon every single time, all the time. They never correct. They never fluctuate. It's just one-sided. I say, I'll sell you contracts that have no business being here, and thank you for the shrinkage. I got 7 on the go at any one time. Uncle Bruce, I'm as busy as a one-arm paper hanger here. I like this game. Well done, B Tizzle. B Tizzle, I love it. Giddy up, everybody, spare. But honestly, I fear the upside. Once rescheduling is delayed, only 3 months out, you'll be just fine, Splair. You're going to be fine. Deep value of the options. Bruce, I make my money on GameStop shares. I write options on SoFi, and I write my options on NVIDIA. And they just pay me and pay me and pay me money. Lisa, Spire is given a $20 price target today, but the stock goes red. Go figure. Crazy. Jeff Glass, I sold a $20 covered call on Lunar yesterday for $59. If it drops today, I think I'll buy it back. They are scheduled to land on the moon at 12:32 tomorrow. So the hype, I'm happy to buy it back for less. Boy, hosting our boy, am I happy to see SoFi and Rocket Lab spiking up. The recent losses have made me a wee bit close to my margin. My broker was sending me warnings all day yesterday. It's fine. It's fine. Jeff, that covered call on Lunar expires next Friday, by the way. So I've got time to allow that thing to die. Giddy up. We're up 150 on the Dow. SoFi is off 3 cents. ASTS up 353. Rocket Lab up 30. Make it 36. GameStop is down 7. AI up a dime. So mainly green, generally speaking. S&P has gone up now 10.5. And NASDAQ's up 8 points. Nothing great, but it has stopped red. Okay, we'll take that. Oil, however, is not stopping. It's dropping 175 a barrel to 66.51. Oil is falling. Amazing. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Appreciate you for hanging around. Thank you for letting me know what stocks are you using to make your money writing options. I love this list from all of you guys. This is great. This is illuminating. For those of you on the outside looking in or casually looking in going, really, they write options on Rocket Lab and they're writing options on SoFi and on GameStop, and I would have thought that they would be writing options on really speculative stuff, and they're not. They're writing options on growth stocks, the Magnificent Sevens, running credit spreads way out of the money, and are taking their 4%, 8%, 12%, 15% returns over a week or two or three every time, again and again and again. There are people here who realize after a while, they kind of look back and go, well, how have I been doing for the last 6 months or so? And they kind of look at their option rate trading patterns, and they've got their spreadsheets, with the open this, closed it. I sold to open, buy to close. They look at their profits and losses on all their trades, and they're going profit, 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 broke even, profit, profit, lost a little, did a rollover, profit, 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 profit. And they figure out, I made this much money, or I took my account from this value to this value in 6 months. They analyze it on a percentage basis, on a dollar basis, on an average trade basis. They also figure out, well, 6 months ago, I was doing 5 credit spreads at a time, and I would write covered calls, 4 here, 8 here, 10 here. Today, I'm doing 15 credit spreads at a time, and I'm doing this many covered. My numbers, my trades are larger. I used to do trades that were worth, credits coming in that were under $1,000 each. Now I'm doing multi-$1,000 credit trades, or the total amount of capital involved in my trades used to be, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 per trade, and now they are $5,000, $7,000, $12,000, $15,000 per trade. I'm doing the same trade. It's just larger trades, more contracts at a time, and I'm just as profitable as before. Mind blowing. This is a realization for people who are going, I'm not doing anything different than I was 6 months ago, a year ago. I'm doing the same stuff. But while inflation has taken place in the last year, and my eggs used to run $3 a dozen, and now they're $8 a dozen, or whatever the number is. I used to make $400 or $500 when I do a trade. Now I'm making $1,500 to $2,000 when I do a trade. I can more than handle the $8 egg prices. I don't like it. Who does? But I make way more than the price of inflation here. Thank you, Uncle Bruce. Thank you, fellow Gold Bagel members right here. A lot of people thank themselves. The group here makes themselves a lot of money. You become part of this family here. You're going to join me tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, Primetime Live with me and the Gold Bagel members only. We're going to talk about trades. We're going to talk about strategies. We're going to talk about credit spreads. We're going to talk about what happened in the last week and what could happen going forward. That's what we do around here. The $25 a month that these people spend to be part of this group, just Wednesday nights alone, make them thousands in returns between now and next Wednesday. The fact that you're a Gold Bagel member and that I'm on the air half an hour before this show, just for Gold Bagel members, that makes them thousands of dollars, because the knowledge that they're gaining and the insight that they're getting before any of you even come in here. But that's the thing. You become a Gold Bagel member, you're in the penthouse of this channel, you're going to get the best we've got. My job is to help you get rich. That's the whole thing. make you more money. Isn't that right, Auntie Jen?
It's all about the community.
It's all about the community, she says. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm alive. Well, I need desperately some cola.
Oh dear.
If you can rinse that thing
Dire
out.
times.
I forgot to pour some cola today. And what kind of bagel should I have today?
I don't know.
We're not down 800 points, so I don't need to worry about an 800-point recovery bagel. But it would be nice to add fuel to the fire bagel. That would be good. I gotta figure this out. We've got ham, we've got cheese.
Middle of the week.
We got middle of the week. We've got
Got grape jelly. You got
exciting. Oh yeah. What should I have on my bagel today? Yeah.
You could have double toasted with butter.
How about
That's my Timmy's, double toasted with butter. Yeah.
I could have like double toasted with fried cheese on it.
You can have fried cheese. I haven't done that for a while.
Yeah.
Sure.
Fried sliced cheese on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that we'll try that. Clog up the arteries and end my career that much sooner. Oh my! James of the Misty Tree has written a quick dumb lesson here. I was trying to sell 4 SoFi $13 cash secured puts just now. I double checked the chain before sending in the order, but when it came back from the chain, it defaulted back to a buy. I quick put in a sell order and I got out with 1/4 cent profit. Get out of here. Bobby, all in cash secured puts. I'm working on SoFi's, Rocket Lab, GameStop, SMCI. I'm currently watching the market while collecting interest. Thank you very much, stock market. Bobby is getting rich doing this. This is the easy way to make money. Let me give you a better view of this. This is how Bobby makes money. Bobby sets his positions on these cash secured puts, and then he does this, and he goes, "How you doing there, Uncle Bruce? I'm happy to watch and listening to you today." As a matter of fact, he might be listening to me in one ear and scouring the internet with another. I don't know. He is folding his arms, and he's counting how much money he's making in interest. And it's becoming substantial, and I love it. Bobby, well done, sir. Keep the good work going. I love it. I only write on stocks that I understand, actually. A very good plan there. Hostergaard, watch me throw some more money in my account so I can write more puts on this dip, because I'm an idiot who enjoys free money, and then they give me for it. They give me money for it. Bobby, 110 grand secured and 38,000 in premiums. Thank you, Uncle Bruce. I like this game. There you go. Splayer makes me more self-confident in case of certain catalytic things. If you go for your favorite topics first, it's true. It's true. Write on what you know. If you are very familiar with GameStop, you're very familiar with Rocket Lab, you're very familiar with SoFi, you write on what you know. And if you want to bring in cash and build your account cash balance dramatically, you'll write covered calls, or you'll write cash secured puts. If you've got a retirement account and it's worth 100 grand, and you sell what's in there, turn it into 100,000 in cash, and then use that cash to write $100 NVIDIA cash secured puts on NVIDIA, where you're offering to buy NVIDIA for $100. I'm willing to pay, you say, I'm willing to pay $100 for NVIDIA from now until January 2026. What is that? 8 months from now. I'm willing to buy NVIDIA for $16.66 less than it's trading at. You will be paid a very nice bit of money to do that. Let me take a look at Jan 26 put contracts. If you want to write a $100 NVIDIA cash secured put, the options market in the put market, they will give you $11.75 or so a share in cash. So you put up 10 grand to write one put contract on NVIDIA, you will collect $1,175. That's 11.7% on your money while you wait to maybe or maybe not buy back the stock at 100. But if you did buy the stock at 100, if you were assigned the stock because you got 11.75 in cash, you're paying $88 a share, something, 88.25 a share. Are you comfortable offering to pay $88.25 for NVIDIA between now and next January? Do you actually think that that's what's going to happen, that the stock is going to drop 98, 108, $28 a share? It's going to drop $28 a share on you so that you have to pay 88 for an $88 stock. You think that's going to happen? Then don't write the don't write the put. But even if you think it will happen, if you think, oh, the stock will go to 90 by next January, you know what? The option will be worth nothing because it has to go. Well, it's worth $10 a share, but you'll still make money on the trade. And if the stock sits at 100 between now and next January, the contracts are worth nothing, and you keep all 11.75. And you can write another contract. Maybe you'll write $80 cash secured puts for a year out, and you'll get 12 or 13 for those. Of course, if the shares go up to 135, 140, and these contracts drop to $6 or $5, you might buy those back and now write $110 cash secured puts for next January or next March, next June, and bring in $12 for those. Pay $6 to get out, take $12 to get in. So that's $6 more on top of the $11.75 you started with. You're now at $17.75 in cash for offering to buy NVIDIA back at a lower price than it's trading at. That's $2. And wants to go to 150, 160, you'll buy those 110s back for half price, and you'll now write 125s. You'll bring in another $6, $7 a share. Now you've got $25 a share for your NVIDIA. So that's a $2,500 return on your $10,000 net to you in what, the next 6 months, 8 months? That's a conservative option writing strategy. That is not risky. That is not putting it all on the line and about, I'm going to lose everything. That is hauling in money right now, 10 grand that you're sitting on plus 11.75 more. So you have $11,750. You're hauling interest in on your cash balance, depending on which firm you're with. You're using your capital to buy ETFs that pay interest. You're earning interest income while you're waiting. You're doing these successive rollovers and are earning more interest income as your cash balance rises. A year from now, you're sitting on $12,700 in cash, and you're hauling interest in on that. And time goes by, and the options shrink out because they're not worth what you sold them for. And you're going to buy them back sooner or later at a lower price and write another batch and bring in another 5-6% more on your $10,000 original dollar investment. Is that okay with you? Are you okay taking your money to grow your money on top of the money? Well, I don't know what's wrong with this picture. Welcome everybody. How you doing? I think Germany says the organic store Whole Foods, 8 eggs, €4 apparently. Richard Carlin, good morning, Auntie Jen. Mandu, number 5, good morning, Auntie Jen. Savage of Wall Street, good morning, my fellow simpletons and degenerates. Hello, Auntie Jen. Double twisted with butter sounds better, or double toasted, I guess. Toasted is too old school, Uncle Bruce, laughing out loud. Welcome, everyone, to the program. Giddy up, kids. 13.21 on SoFi, up about 12 or so cents. High of the day, 13.37 is the high of the day on SoFi. Let's take a look at this trading thing going here. Here we go. 13.37 was the high of the day. We're at 13.22. 7.6 million traded in the first 35 minutes. Kind of quiet. Not a lot of stock coming up for sale on SoFi down here. It's drying out. Drying out. ASTS up 285 to 31.46. We got Rocket Lab at $19.76, up 76 cents. It's going to 20 now. GameStop 24.50 up 20. AI up 39 to 22.49. SMCI up $1. NVIDIA up 68 cents. Tesla up 468 We have the spiders up 121, the Q's up 145. We've got Palantir up $1.74, MSTR up 725, MicroStrategy, Costco up 388, Coinbase up 136. We've got Google up a dime. We've got Apple down 350. We have Broadcom up 448. We got Microsoft up 244. Intel down 38 cents. Netflix is up 1070 this morning. Meta, the old Facebook, up 623 now. EI Lilly up 690. Amazon up 147. Uber up 68. Adobe up 259. Now, I talk about writing cash secured puts on NVIDIA and going to January 100s, 16 out of the money. Very conservative strategy to go, way out there. You could theoretically, though, write cash secured puts that die in April coming up. You want to go April 17s. You want to write 100s. You'll get 320 a contract, 3.2% on your money for 5 weeks of your time on a $100 cash secured put on NVIDIA. That again is $11.60, $16 out of the money. If you want to write a cash secured put at 110, where you're willing to pay 110 for NVIDIA, you'll get paid $625 for those, which means net, you'll pay $103.75 for a 116.80 stock right now. So, you put up 11,000 to get $625. That's not a bad return for a 5-week time frame. Yeah, you want to go a little further out in time? What about, how about June 25? Why don't we look at those? Let's see what they're going for. June 20 expiry, you want to write $100 put contracts on NVIDIA, put up 10 grand and write a $100 put contract. You'll get paid $6.10, kind of in the middle of the bid ask, roughly. Again, I'm 10 minutes old on these quotes, but about $6. So you get about 6% from now till June. You want to write 110s, you'll get 980, something like that. That's about 9% between now and June. Yeah, that's good. You could do that. You want to play 120s, they're in the money, 325. If you think the stock of NVIDIA will go over 120 between now and the end of into June, you can get right now 1465 on a $120 contract, put up 12 grand and get 1460 back. That's 12% on your money. Obviously, if the shares do go to 120, these contracts are worthless in June. If the stock stays at 116, these will drop to the $3.30 level, which is what they're worth. That's what they're going to go down to. Are you comfortable knowing that you can write a contract for $14.60, knowing it is only worth $3? It's $3.30 is all it's worth. So there's $11 in air. It's just time value. So you put up 12 grand, knowing you're going to get 1,100 of it, because the stock stays here. The contract is worth $3.30. You're going to buy it back for $4, maybe the last week it's alive, and write another contract for September, October, November for another $14. Bring in that 11 again on top of what you cleared on the first one. These are conservative option writing strategies. This is like no-brainer stuff. If you own 100 NVIDIA shares and you write call options on NVIDIA, you can make money too, of course. If you want to write contracts that expire in June, you could look at writing maybe 120s call options and bring in right now $12.50 a contract. Offer your stock for sale at $120 plus the 12 you're getting. That's $132 is what you'd be paid out at if you were to be exercised. Of course, if the shares are trading at 116 to 120 when these contracts expire, they're worthless. You keep all $12.50. And you can write another $120 contract expiring in September, October. You're probably pulling another $12, which is a $24 cash injection into your account per share of NVIDIA using June contracts and using October's or November contracts. That's $24 a share on a 116 stock. I mean, you can buy the stock now at 116 and write this $12 contract and then roll it for another 12, if the conditions work the way we're talking about, you'll have hauled in $25 a share on a 116 stock before the end of the year. Is that appealing to you at all? That's, 116, 10% is 11. That's 20% on your money. That's more than between now and the end of the year. Conservative option writing strategy. That's what this is. You can do that in your retirement account. Will your retirement account perform a 20% return on what it is you're sitting on now? Are you sitting on bond ETFs in your retirement account through your work? Can you control your own 401k and do this instead with your own broker? Many of you have, many of you can. Just got to do some homework on this. Can you? I mean, there's some of you out there who are saying to yourselves, gosh, I'd love to borrow a couple $100,000 against my house because I have all this equity built up, and I would like to make a bigger return on my money than it costs me for the home equity line of credit. Why don't you do some calculating and see what you need to generate? If you can pull 200 grand out of your house, and then you can generate a trade like I just described to you, where you're writing call options on NVIDIA, and you're willing to hold the stock for the next 5 years, going to let them grow and grow, and you don't care about the fluctuations. You're just going to write call options on NVIDIA. You want to haul in the next 2 to 3 months, 10, 12% return on NVIDIA from premiums from call options. Out of the money call options. If you get exercised, you get that money too. Does it pay? Does it work? What would your payment be on $200,000 per month to your banker? They'd probably let you do it online. You'd probably be able to figure that out in advance. And you'll go, well, if it costs me 8% to borrow the money or 10% to borrow the money, and my payments, what would my payment be on $200,000? Would it be $1,800 a month? What would it be? If it's $2,000 a month, let's just suppose you need to generate $2,000 a month to make the payment. Well, if you buy NVIDIA and you roll right in the money out of the money calls, and you can haul in $1,200 on 100 shares. Okay, you're talking $200,000 here. How many shares can you buy at $116? 1,000 shares is 116,000, right? You can buy 1,800 shares with 200 grand, something like that. You can write 18 contracts. 18 times 1,200 is what you're going to write. You're going to bring in 20. You do the math. You got a calculator. Do it. Don't just look at me. Do the math. Tell me. What are you bringing in? $21,000 for 3 months? That's $7,000 a month. What are your payments? $2,000 a month to make the payment. You just brought in what? 21 grand in cash. You got the cash to make the payment. Okay. There it is. I know that's what you can do. I know you're doing it. There are people doing this here, writing very conservative stock option programs, bringing in this kind of cash and making these payments and going, Uncle Bruce, a quarter of my house, a quarter of the value of my house is letting me bring in this dough from NVIDIA. Every 3 months I do this. 20,000 every 3 months. That's 80,000 a year with my $200,000. I give them 24 grand for the money, and I keep the rest. I'll buy more NVIDIA and write more contracts. That's right. So that a year from now, you're not writing 12 or 14 contracts. You're writing 17 contracts, 15 contracts. Yeah, it's called getting a pay raise. Thank you, Auntie Jensen.
It's not real crispy, but it is what it is.
It's melted cheese on a toasted.
Grilled cheese.
It's grilled cheese. Look at there's the sesame seed bagel. Look at the grilled cheese.
Yeah, you're gonna drip grease on your laptop.
Boy. Miss optimistic. Well, let's check.
Get ready, heart. Here it comes.
It's the big one. I'm coming, baby.
Who are you looking up to saying you're coming, baby?
She ain't gonna be there. Evil.
I'll still be here going, ha, he wanted another grilled cheese.
I'm in charge of everything now. I will rule the world.
That's right.
Auntie Jen will go on the air every day and give you hand puppet shows. You're never going to see her face on camera.
That's right.
I'm telling you the way it is. I rule the world
Good
now.
morning, Richie. Good morning, Mandu.
She says hi to everybody.
I say hi to everybody.
Good morning, everybody, and hello, everybody, and welcome, everybody. Giddy, giddy,
Good
giddy,
morning,
giddy,
Frank
giddy up.
Savage.
Savage of Wall Street says, I'm making money with cash secured puts. This is wonderful.
That's right.
But the beauty of this game is to make money going up and down. My average on my stocks is so low that I am making a sweet coin writing covered calls, making money on the way down too. Because every time you bring premium in, you've lowered the cost of your stock.
Right.
Of course. Oh, that's
He's a
good.
very good student.
Oh, he is a good student. Double D puts on SoFi, Rocket Lab, ASTS, GameStop, and AIC3.
You know what I think of when you say double D? It's not what you think.
Uh-oh.
I think of Donald Duck.
Double D, Donald Duck.
Isn't that terrible?
Savage of Wall Street. I'm familiar with that NVIDIA trade, Uncle Bruce. I received $13.25 to sell a Jan 26 $100 cash secured put on NVIDIA. I got $13.25. I'd used that money right away to buy 12 shares of NVIDIA at 109. Take me out. Thank you very much. Vapor Day cash secured puts on SoFi, baby. Lisa, GameStop, 20th of June. $30 cover calls are going for 310. But the volatility is dried up unless Kitty tweets or SMG. The GameStop right now is sitting at, what are we doing at now? GameStop is 24.56. Savage of Wall Street. Folks, CLSK is almost at a 52-week low. I'm just saying that $7 cash secured puts would be very cool right now. I wrote 12 $7 cash secured puts yesterday for 86 cents. I'm already up on this stuff. There you go. Richard, bagel, bagel, bagel. 125, bagel, bagel, bagel. Elizabeth, Richard Carlin saying, Elizabeth, I'm coming for you, baby. I'm coming to join you.
I'm coming, baby.
We're talking about stuff from the 70s here, the 80s. Most of you weren't born yet. You're like Marty McFly. I'm not even born yet. My goodness. Welcome all. We got a 136-point gain on the Dow. SoFi 1315 up 6. ASTS up 365. Rocket Lab up 60. GameStop up 25. AI up 19. Super Micro up 87 cents. Giddy up, guys. What blows my mind, just blows me away, is there are viewers who watch me. They've had a one-on-one with me because they want to fill me in on what they're doing and what they've been up to and what this channel has meant to them. And they say to me, you know what? When I found it, oh, I don't have any cola. Could I have a glass of? They say to me, you know, when I found you in 2021 or 2022, somehow YouTube directed me to you, whatever it was. I had money in some ETFs, and I had like 20 shares of Apple, and I had 100 shares of GameStop because I was playing with it, and I wasn't going anywhere. But I had like $100,000 in my savings account. And then you come around and you're talking about writing conservative option strategies and telling me reorganize your investments, what you're sitting on, so that you can ultimately maximize your returns from writing options. Because what you're sitting on right now, you can't do much in option writing. But he said, Bruce, he and she say to me, I took your advice. I got rid of some of these stupid investments I made 5, 7, 8 years ago. I don't know what I was thinking. I was younger then. I just thought, just put money into the market and it'll all work out. And I turned around and I bought stock in, whatever. I bought GameStop. I bought 1,000 shares of GameStop. Or I bought I took your advice and I bought 3,000 shares of SoFi, and I bought, this, and I bought that. And I started writing options. And others of you have said to me, this quitting your day job thing has really resonated with me. I took 100 grand and liquidated it into cash. Whatever I was sitting on, I'm sitting on cash. And I started to write options on the cash. And first thing I did was cash secured puts. I started writing $10 cash secured puts on SoFi a year ago when they were $7, $8, $8.50. And for a long time, nothing was happening. I did get like $2.50, $3, $3.20 for those puts. And that money ended up in my account, and it grew, and interest came in. And then, of course, SoFi, did what it's done, and I rolled into 12s, and I've rolled into 15s. Incredible. But I want to quit my day job. I'm still working. This is a few months ago. Then I decided I'm going to go even more conservative. I'm going to leave that exactly the way it is because I'm so happy with my game plan for SoFi and anything else I'm working on. I've now taken an equity line of credit out of my house, and I've grabbed 300 grand out of there. And I have picked up $300,000 worth of stock in the Magnificent Seven. I've got 5 stocks, and I put 60 grand in each one, give or take, so that I have so many hundreds of this, so many hundreds of shares of that, so many hundreds of shares of those, so many hundreds of that. And now I'm writing call options on all of those different Magnificent Seven stocks. I'm writing just out of the money, just like 5-10% ahead of the stock contracts, and I'm bringing in the premium. And I'm finding that with 2-month and 3-month contracts, I find that with only a couple of weeks to go, these contracts really shrink out if they're not in the money. And that's when I do a rollover. I buy them back for pennies, and I rewrite another set of contracts. And every once in a while, I'm able to buy another 100 shares. But something else has happened. If I quit my day job and I just want to live off of the proceeds of my option writing activity, if I can haul in 15% return from call writing every 3 or 4 months or so, I'm hauling in $45,000 every 3 or 4 months. My payment is $3,000 a month on this $300,000 equity line of credit that I've got, this home equity credit. I'm paying that every month, no problem. That's $12,000 in 4 months, but I'm hauling in $40,000. That's $28,000 for me. Divide that by 4, $7,000 a month. I can very comfortably live on $7,000 a month. I can live on less than that, and I am, because I have reduced my debts and my cost of living dramatically. I'm quitting my job. I'm allowing my portfolio to carry me going forward. It doesn't matter what the stocks do. I will always roll and write contracts and keep hauling in this premium, this money premium coming in. But I've seen the day straight in front of me. I'm out of here. I'm no longer in that cubicle anymore. Way to go. And that's conservative, really conservative. None of that is risky.
Well, you gotta pay attention and you gotta write.
You got it right.
Don't buy.
Become a writer, not a buyer. Yeah.
Pay attention.
Thank you, everybody, so much. Good morning, Auntie Jen from Juan.
Good morning, Juan.
Deep value of the options. Uncle Bruce, this is so easy. Savage, boom. Savage of Wall Street, boom. Uncle Bruce. I sold 2 ASTS April 17, $25 cash secured puts 2 days ago for an average of $4.11, and I just bought them back for $1.95. I could cross my arms, but I'm up over 50% in 2 days. Is that good to close now? I did. Thank you very much. Thank you for the, what's that, $2.10 to $2.16 gain.
In what, 2 days?
2 days.
2 days.
Ka-ching. Nickels and dimes add up to dollars, people. Phenomenal.
Yes, and being conservative doesn't mean you don't still get to play.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You're
yeah.
not gonna sit there for a year.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna play.
Zed Estate GameStop October chain is now available. There you go.
Okay.
The contracts are being created.
Passage of time.
Giddy up, everybody. Oh, this is so good. Oh,
Is it?
man.
It didn't fry up very crispy. Because I couldn't use the new pan yet. I was still seasoning it.
Okay.
Let's hear it for cast iron. Yay!
Woohoo.
Love my cast iron.
Dow's up 86. S&P up 6. NASDAQ up, S&P down 6. NASDAQ down 24. The Dow's up 86. We got a mixed market. Oil getting hammered 66.09, down 2.16 a barrel today. Getting hammered.
Tell them I think it was my second day on the desk when someone brought me an option order. And instead of selling it, I bought it.
This is like 1986,
It was the first auction I'd ever done.
85.
Yep, first one I ever done. And the broker said, you know, as I was walking back to my desk, I thought I heard you say, I'm like, you idiot.
In the old days,
So the house took a little bit off on that one.
in the old days, this happened fairly regularly.
Well, first they
Whether
would-
we
they
had
would
an
train
issue,
you.
whether we did the problem or someone else did the problem, because we had a direct line to our stock exchange floor, the Alberta Stock Exchange, we would get orders into our office for the Alberta Exchange to do trades there. And then we would place orders with our our main trading desk in Toronto to buy and sell on the Toronto Exchange or to buy and sell in New York. And we also had a direct line to Vancouver to call their trading desk to trade on the Vancouver Stock Exchange. So Vancouver was calling us, Toronto was calling us, we were calling Toronto, we were calling Vancouver, and we're doing trades all over the place. And so once in a while, I would get a phone call as manager from Toronto, and the
Your
head
floor trader, your desk trader's an idiot.
the head trader in Toronto head desk trader, he was the boss of the desk traders. He would call me up and say, hey, we got a problem here. And it would be their problem. So we have a broker here who gave you an order to buy 20,000 shares of XYZ oil company on the Alberta Exchange at 220. We have to kill that trade. It's an error trade. Can you kill the trade? Well, I'd pick up the phone and call my floor trader personally on the floor of Alberta, and he'd say, yeah, what do you need? I tell him the story, and he'd say, hang on a second, and he would put the phone on his chest, or he would say, I'll call you right back. And then he would go to the floor trader on Alberta that he did the trade with, and he would tell him, this is a trade in error, we need to kill it. That guy would have to call his desk trader, would have to call back to their outfit, and we would get the trade reversed one way or another. If the parties were agreeable, we'd kill the trade and just nullify it. But if they weren't agreeable, then we would have to undo the trade by reversing. We bought 20,000, now we got to sell 20,000. But my floor trader was so good. He had so many favors that were owed to him. So many times he allowed trades to be canceled. Now you owe me one. It's, I did this for you, you do this for me. This is the beauty of the floor with actual traders. This was the best part about human beings on the floor. So many errors were corrected, but
And nobody got hurt.
and
Stock
damage would be greatly limited. But those were the old days when it was done in person. Now you make the mistake. You make the mistake on your phone or on your computer, and you have to unwind the trade yourself.
The platform makes the mistake.
Rarely does the platform make the mistake. You make the mistake.
Flips it over.
Anyway, it is what it is. Thank you, everybody. Welcome all to the program.
Pay attention.
Pay attention to your trades.
Always pay attention.
Again, I love telling, or I love being told by my viewers who will say to me, because of this channel, and because of your lessons on your website, I made moves with my assets that I never thought of before. I never thought that I could make adjustments to what we have, my wife and I and family. I've helped my mom and dad. I've helped my brothers, my cousins, a fellow co-worker and I completely have changed our entire portfolios because of this channel. We are now option writers. We are now bringing in income off the options market that we never knew we could do. We never thought we could even think of this kind of stuff. We never heard of it. And the kind of revenue we're generating from option premiums, whether we're cash secured put writers, covered call writers, credit spread creators, has made massive differences to us. And Uncle Bruce, no question, I am no longer working a $100,000 a year job anymore, because the kind of money that I'm making off of options is $15,000 a month, double what I ever got paid. I mean, 100,000 a year sounds like a lot of money, but after tax, it's like 65 grand. It's like 5,500 a month clear. I'm clearing 15 grand a month from option writing. That's triple the job. I can't afford to work for my employer anymore. I just can't. And I took a equity line of credit out on the house. This is a joke. Making my house allow me to not work anymore. My house allows me not to work anymore. Hello, is anybody getting this? This is unbelievable. I never thought that the equity I have in my home could allow me to be self-employed. And my wife and I are looking at this going, we both put into our 401ks. We got, 400 grand sitting there. If we quit our jobs, we can get control of those now. And we can manage that money on top of our house equity money. We're going to be bringing in $25,000 a month in option premiums. Why are we slogging like this, the two of us, and stressing out every day and every night and every weekend about all the crap at work? Because we stress about our jobs all the time. And now with what's happening in Washington, will our firm start doing layoffs, even though we have nothing to do with the federal government? Could there be an indirect boomerang effect that kicks us out of work? I'm not playing this game. I am going to take control of my security, my finances, my cash flow, and I'm going to be a full-time administrator of my assets. Welcome to the party, pal. Here we are. Classes are waiting for you. Stockmarketswithbruce.ca. There's the website. Just get your butt over there. And away we go. Learn how to write options. After you watch the first two classes, you'll have some pretty valuable information that will already get you going. By the time you've done your 7th, 8th lesson, you're going to be writing contracts. We can't stop you. You'll bring in more money, I think, than it costs you to take the classes. No problem at all. Welcome to the party, everybody. I'm glad you're here. Savage, boom! I just used some of the collateral used for those ASTS cash secured puts. Just bought back to sell an AI 2250 cash secured put expiring in April for $220. Thank you. May I have another? I'll buy AI for $20 anytime you want to sell it to me. It's $22.29 right now. Way to go, buddy. Giddy up. Swear, triple the amount of Germany's most workers. It's incredible how much more Americans gain and how much is going for housing and renting. It's incredible. Yeah. Well, they say okay, I'm using the word they. You are probably inundated on your Instagram and your TikTok and on YouTube. When you watch short videos, you're probably being shown videos from entrepreneurs who are telling you, you can make a lot of money on real estate. You can make a lot of money doing this. You can make a lot of money doing that. And on the real estate game, talk about making money in slow motion. Man, you have to do all the paperwork to buy a place. You got to renovate it if that's what you're going to do. You got to spend all the time with contractors, all the time with renters, all the nonsense of permitting and city ordinances and building code violations. And oh my God, being real estate is a nightmare. And then ultimately, you can make, they say, oh, you can make 10% a year, 5% a year, 15% a year on real estate. You can flip a property for a lot of money. All the stuff you've got to go to net out any money on a real estate transaction can take a long, long, long time. And here, I'm saying to you, well, instead of using your home equity and buying a second house that you're going to fix up and rent for an income generator, why don't you use, because let me go back a minute. If you've got $300,000 you could borrow against your house, and you could buy a house for $250,000 that's in rough shape and put $100 into it and now rent it for $2,000 a month or something like that, the amount of money you're going to net out will not put you into self-employment. It's just an added income as long as your tenant pays. In reality, you take $300,000 out on your house, you buy NVIDIA, you buy Apple, you buy 100,000 of 3 different stocks and write call options on them. Again, 2, 3, 4 month out contracts out of the money and take the premium in. You'll make more money on that capital than you need to pay for the capital and to live on. It'll replace your paycheck. This is what most of these newbies coming into this channel don't know. They hear about it, they don't believe it. So they come in here and they watch and listen for a while. They watch you, they see Credit Savage of Wall Street trading, they see Dude trading, they understand these trades, they read the trades, they see them right there, and they're doing the math and going, well, if I've got 300 grand and I just only buy NVIDIA with it, 300,000 of NVIDIA at 115 or whatever a share, whatever the price per share is, I can buy quite a number of these shares. $116 a pop, 300 grand. We're talking what, 2,500 shares? Easily 2,500. That's 25 contracts. Well, they can do permanent covered calls, but they can also do cash secured puts, and or they can do credit spread trades as well. But if just buying the stock, really conservative, buying the stock and writing $12 contracts for 2 or 3 months out, $1,200 a contract times 25 contracts is $30,000 to you for 3 months. Cost you $9 grand for payments, $3,000 a month. You keep 11. You keep 21 grand. 21 grand is yours. If you're still working and you've got the 21 grand, you can just either pay that 21 grand to the banker and pay him off sooner, which is not what you're going to do. You can put it into the account and buy more NVIDIA and write more contracts, likely what you're going to do. But you might say, no, I'm going to quit my day job. I want out. Or at least you have 2 jobs. You have a full-time job and a part-time job. You're going to quit the part-time job. Or you're going to quit the full-time job and keep the part-time job and take the $7,000 a month towards your cost of living. You need $4,000 a month to get by on. $3,000 stays in the account. You keep the part-time job, quit the full-time job, and all of a sudden, the part-time job doesn't interfere with your market. The full-time job did, but now here you go. And 3 months later, you've hauled in another $21,000. And 3 months later, you've hauled in another. This continues to happen as you grow your account and write more and more contracts. I am talking about such basic stuff here. There is no it's not that complicated what I'm talking about. Many of you here, I'm boring you to death talking to you about just writing covered calls only. In your retirement accounts, you're doing all this tax-free. And for those of you with a $300,000 IRA or 401k or RRSP in Canada, whatever you got, you can generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in premium money into these accounts. Certainly 20, 30,000 every few months of capital coming into your account from option writing. And why are you not doing it? I don't know what the delay is. What are you waiting for? You're not going to be here a second time around. You're not going to be able to do this in your next life. You have to do it in this life. You're 48 years old, 17 years away from retirement, and you've got a $300,000 retirement account that's supposed to be worth $2 million upon retirement. You're not getting there. Not with what you're getting now, 5-7% of your returns. But with this kind of strategy, you're going to be there quickly. You're going to be shocked at how much capital you have as you build your portfolio out and be writing more contracts every 3 months than you did the last time. Again and again and again. You're going to get to the point where you're going to write 50 contracts at $1,200 a shot, $60,000 in cash for 3 months. You do that 4 times a year, that's $250,000 a year. 10 years, 2.4 million. If you don't compound that, you're going to get to the millions of dollars in your account. You're going to retire a lot more comfortably. You might retire early. You might go, geez, my account's worth $3 million and I'm 59 years old. Why am I going to work 6 more years? What was the point of this? Because at 59 and a half, some of you in America, you have rules that kick in where you can start taking money out tax-free. Hello? You've got to talk to your tax professional. They're going to look at you and go, you've only got $300,000 and you're in here in my office wasting my time about taking money out and when you're 59 and a half. Get out of here. Oh, go to Google and figure it out. It's there. I'm doing the best I can with what we've got. I'm just trying to help you guys out. Anyway, there you go. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Anti-Gen, please let Savage know he is not alone. AI April 22 and a half at 212. Boom, boom. There we go. Boom, 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 boom.
A boom. Making the moolah.
Welcome all to the party. Thank you for joining me. I love that you're getting richer, kids. We have 299 people answering my poll question today. Thank you for that. We're moving in on 170 thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody. We're coming into 200 thumbs ups again today. Thank you for hitting that thumbs up button. The question of the day. My preferred stock to use to write stock options is SoFi, 55%. GameStop, 24%. NVIDIA, 12%. Tesla, 9%. 300, almost 300 responders. Thank you for letting me know. And then those of you who've just sent me the list through the messaging here, I really appreciate it. It was a revelation for a lot of us to see what are the 3 or 4 stocks you like to write options on that make you the most option premium in your account. I love the fact of being able to tell me that.
I can't remember who said it, but saying how, it was Blair, saying he wants to do the ones that he knows about. And that's absolutely right. You get a comfort level. You start to feel like you know, because there's a stock story and there's a company story. And to feel the relationship with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, you do it lets you sleep at night.
And, you know, if SoFi cash secured puts is the way to go to build your cash balance to a ridiculously high level, and you're hauling in daily interest on a whack of money, this is good stuff. And this is a good strategy too. Again, if you are here long enough and you listen to what we are talking about here, you're going to quickly figure out this is not risky option trading what this guy is talking about.
It's really not rocket science.
This channel zeroes in on conservative option writing strategies that you can do over 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stocks at a time. Because if you think this is boring, oh, I'm all in on one stock and I got nothing to do all day long. No. You can do conservative option strategies on a whole bunch of positions simultaneously, and you will be very busy maintaining your markets.
Well, the next thing you know, 2 days later, you're flattening your position,
There's that too.
even though it was for months out.
That's right. You thought
You go.
you were running calls that expire in 4 months, that you wouldn't have to do anything for 4 months. And a week later, oh my God, the market's gone down.
You're in the back seat of your prom date.
You're in the back seat on a prom date. Oh, you got the second base. Down goes the stock, down go those contracts. You buy them back for cheap, and you write another set of contracts for more cash. Rolling over your insurance policy. Thank you very much. This is not boring. Believe me, bringing in thousands of dollars per rollover is not boring. It's kind of exciting. It's kind of like being in the back seat on a prom date.
I don't know where that came from.
I don't know where she gets this from.
I don't know, it just came in my mind.
It just popped in there.
It just popped right in there.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
It just popped right in there. You do, Ray.
What did you do, Ray? It just popped in there. You couldn't possibly hurt us. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah, put it or whatever it was.
Okay. She's a dog. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Oil, 66.04 a barrel, down 222. Wow. Unbelievable.
I can hear them panicking and everything.
No kidding. Welcome all to the program. Thank you all for being here today. Jen and I are going to leave you now. I'm just about finished my bagel.
Till tonight.
You're up on everything. You're going to get richer. 92-cent gain on Rocket Lab. Thank you, Rocket Lab. We're up 44 on GameStop. SoFi up 6. Go. Go markets, go. Get rich, please. Blair, have a relaxed day, everybody. Thank you all for joining me. Let's leave you with a little bit of an emoji, a knee emoji attack. Let the Knights know, the Knights of Knee know how much we appreciate them and how much we respect them. The power behind this market, we know what it is. You might be good at writing options, but it's the Knights of Knee that actually make it all work for you. Deep Value knows, Richard Carlin knows. Neat, 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 neat. Boeing Tiger knows. Neat, 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 neat. Samuel, neat, neat. James of the Misty Tree. Neat, 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 neat. Here they come. Get out of the way, Jeff Glass. Neat, 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 neat. There they come. The knee emojis are coming out like crazy. Hit those knee emojis. Neat, 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 neat. Beach Boy. Neat, 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 neat. Zeta State. Stephen Butler. Neat, 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 neat. Thank you, everybody. Keep the drive alive. Ron, thank you, buddy. Neat, neat, neat. Don't forget the Knights of Knee emojis. Absolutely. Become a member today, and you can have fun like we have fun here. Deep Value. Neat. Oh, my God. Giddy up. All right. This is Uncle Bruce, and that's Auntie Jen. And we want to say thank you for being with us today. We love that you're here. You have yourselves a great day. We'll see you tonight. If you're a Gold Bagel member, we'll see you tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Prime Time Live with Uncle Bruce for just Gold Bagel members. We'll be here for that. In the meantime, take good care of yourselves, everybody. Thank you again for your support. In 3, 2, 1, we're going to say bye.